And the Blazers are every one of them. As they go into New Orleans, grab a 119-100 victory. Let this play, Brenden. It's beautiful.
It was a big win in the Big Easy, Chris. See what I did?
Oh, that was way too easy. Just let this roll. First off, this song goes way harder than it has any business going.
Hey, man, I mess with Panic. They're good.
See? Close your eyes. You can feel like you're in Moda right now.
This is true, right?
That's right. The Blazers are victorious. What a game. What a game. As Sean Hyken said in our post-game recap, you can find on our social medias. By the way, you should be following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Rip City Radio 620. Boy, Blazers can't say that very often, but they dominated in this one. Did they dominate or did they dominate? Get it? Dominating? Man, full of jokes when they win, let me tell you what. What a game, though. The Blazers led by as many as 33, left no doubt. They were up 40-24 after the first quarter. And this is, Brenden, I know what people are going to say. Oh, but Zion wasn't playing, and Brandon Ingram wasn't playing, and Trey Murphy wasn't playing. That's good. Because guess what? Lauri Markkanen didn't play when Utah ran him out of the gym. Ja Morant didn't play when Memphis ran him out of the gym. They're not getting got by these teams that aren't having their full complement players, and I like that. I like that. It was good balance all the way around. Let's start on the Pelicans side of things. Always start with the opposition. There wasn't a lot outside of the two stars in this one. CJ McCollum had 23 points, 20 points from DeJounte Murray, and 10 points from Jordan Hawkins. No other Pelican scored in double figures. Herb Jones put up a zero burger in 18 minutes. He had 0 rebounds, 1 assist. Not a great game for him. On the Blazers side of things.
I mean, I look at that, Chris, and
What?
it's almost like you have a Pelicans team that's just, you mentioned it earlier, I think, it's just kind of started to check out on the year.
They're checking
bit,
out a little bit. I think at this point, they're either going to blow that up or do what the other bad teams are doing and say, okay, let's add it. Let's try to add some youth to this bad boy. On the Blazers side of things, Tamani Kamara, he had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists from Denny Avdia. 11 points, 13 rebounds from DeAndre Ayton. So another good double-double from him. And the 11 points, you might go, well, he didn't score that much. Well, he only attempted 8 shots. So he was letting everyone else get going, and then he was finding his spots, which you like to see. 21 points from Shaedon Sharpe. I think were those all in the first half? It was quiet after that. 17 points from Anthony Simons. He also had 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Scoot Henderson bounced back from a bad game in Detroit. He had 13 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and 6 points from Chris Murray, who had another good game. He played 20 minutes. Robert Williams, let me tell you what, he came in. Again, Donovan Clingan didn't play in this one. I got to thinking, too. Everyone was like, why would he play rest? Maybe he's really gassed. It actually makes sense at this point because, A, I think you can tell that MCL is still bothering him a little bit, and B, cardio has been a thing for him all season long. And so at this point, you just choose. Do you want to sit him in the front half or the back half of the back-to-back? They chose front half. So not like I would fully suspect him to play tomorrow because, again, Blazers get the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. But Robert Williams, after a couple of games of getting DMP, coach's decision, he played in this one. He had 16 minutes. He ended with 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 blocked shots. So a very good game from him. Delano Banton chipped in 4 as well. So I love these games where all 5 Blazer starters are in double figures. Scoot chips in double figures off the bench as well. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. The main rotation for Chauncey was 9 men deep today instead of 8. That's nice. 12 men did get in. So beautiful for your Trailblazers. Blazers did have 24 assists and just 13 turnovers, which that's great. That's great. I love the assist number to be up, but the turnover number was down, and that's exactly what you want. They had 11 steals, 7 block shots, and they shot 54% from the floor. So a very, very good night for the Trailblazers. Funny enough, though, I mean, how often throughout the night did you hear Travis go, oh, they hit another one. The Blazers are just on fire from beyond the arc. They ended the night 13 of 36, so they shot just 36% from beyond the arc. But I'm not taking anything away from them. A win is a win is a win, and you love to see it. What a good performance from the Trailblazers. And I think they really needed that after just that lackluster performance in Detroit, right? Like, I mean, I guess the performance, wasn't lackluster. The result was, and that's terrible, right? Because they dominated a lot of that Pistons game, and then the second half happened, right? And they just let the Pistons back into it, and then they let it get away. They didn't let that one happen this time. There was a couple times where it felt like maybe they were going to let the Pelicans back in because all of a sudden that 33-point lead was a 19-point lead. And you're like, uh-oh, here we go. I don't know if I trust this team to get those stops down the stretch because, we've seen this story before. But they held on and ultimately grabbed the 19-point victory. So good game from the Trailblazers, good bounce back. And now they get to go to Dallas where they take on, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving in street clothes. That's right, those two are hurt right now. So maybe they take advantage here, and that would be glorious. Come and get another win, get 3 wins on this road trip. That would be nice. Once again, Blazers 119-100 over the Pelicans. If you want to join the conversation, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio 620. That's one way to do it. You hit us up on social. Chris J. Burkhardt, B_slot is the name for my guy, Brenden. And of course, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. If you don't call in, I don't blame you, man. You're probably out there partying like it's Mardi Gras in your neighborhood because the Blazers grabbed the victory, baby. Be excited. I'm supposed to be unbiased, have no rooting interest, but that was fun. That was fun, I will admit. And everyone asks me, as a journalist, okay, do you root? And I go, yeah, I root for him to win. Why? Yeah, because the show is more fun. Shout out to Air Weldon in the chat, though, and Timmy Hammock.
I can relate to that, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you can. Unfortunately, you've seen a lot of losses for the team you cover. And to be fair, Brenden, I covered the Beavers during the Gary Anderson era, too.
That was actually how we met, if you remember.
When you were coming in and you were just desperate for some guidance and you were shadowing people.
I'm a freshman. Pay attention to me. I know sports. And look where we are now.
I think it's funny, quite actually, that's how I met you, was you coming in you weren't even an intern. You were just trying to come shadow and you met people at Comcast. By the way, that's the way to do it. Smart move. Relationships, right? And it's like
totally.
A decade later, here I am working with you still. Dwight even, I told Dwight that, I texted Dwight the other day because obviously he was part of those layoffs a couple months ago. And I texted him the other day. I'm like, hey, big guy, how you holding up? I go, my entire sports broadcasting career, whether it be here or another company, has been working with Dwight because we've always worked at the same companies.
Right.
So I was like, I have not known sports broadcasting without the Godfather, and I don't like this at all.
It's definitely one of those things where, Chris, if you were to, zoom into the old Reser Stadium press box, which I'm sure has been reformulated into, new Honda Civics and Toyota Corollas by now. But, no, jokes aside, it'd be funny. I kind of feel like Paul Rudd with that meme where he's like, who would have thought, right? Not us.
Who saw us here?
Exactly.
Not me. Yeah. That's you every time you walk into a new Reser Stadium press box, quite honestly. Like,
this is true.
You sit there and you look at like an actual college press box, like, who thought we'd be here? Not me. That old Reser one was so bad, dude. You've been up to UWs, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's one of my faves, especially if you can get it on a sunny-ish day.
The UW press box is great. An NFL press box.
It is. It's pretty awesome.
And also, now that Oregon got redone, or Oregon State, excuse me, Oregon might have one of the trashier press boxes. That thing's old and dated.
Yeah, I mean,
it's big, but it's dated.
It needs a facelift, but the one thing I've always appreciated about Autzen is their food offerings and their wide variety of bathrooms. Having bathrooms on both sides of the press box.
That matters.
Again, you got to be thinking about your people, Chris. The people who write about you. That's all I'm saying.
That old Reser Stadium had one on one end, and it was the tiniest bathroom.
It was tough.
That's like the bathroom at a Blazer game, guys. The bathroom in the media dining.
Yeah,
there's 2 single bathrooms.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris. If you go down at halftime, I've seen everyone from Kevin Calabro to Chad Dewing to Lamar Hurd just making that line in there, man.
Sat there in line.
It's real.
I sat there in line one day, and then someone asked me, God, this line always take that long?
Yes.
And I was like, yes, it always does. And I didn't realize that I was responding to Dominique Wilkins, who was asking me that question. I'm like, Hey, here we go.
That's great.
Oh, man.
That's great. No, see, these are these relatable first world problems that we could talk about, Chris. So, yeah, that's that is the Blazer fans right now are like, what are you guys talking about? Moda has plenty of bathrooms. Well, it does, but could maybe use a couple more down under.
Hey, Sean chimes in. He says Blazers had almost as many points in the first quarter as they did in the second half. Making baskets early is awesome, but I want to see consistency throughout the game. I do think that's a fair assessment to go from 40-35 respectively in the first and second quarter, and then only score in the 20s in the other two does say something. And absolutely, but sometimes you're hot. Like there was a point there where they couldn't miss. Like that, Sean, I don't know if that was consistency. That was just when you're hot, and it turns into a huge point production and a good gap. And then I think as the game went on and everything started to right itself back to air quotes normal, that's when you saw the offense start to struggle a little bit. I mean, you can only carry that hot hand for so long. Absolutely. But your assessment's absolutely not wrong. Timmy chimes in as well. Says the Blazers made Pels fans act like they saw Hulk Hogan on a Monday Night Raw in L.A. I get it. He says they booed. You could hear all 12 of them come through the television channel. I felt really bad for both those teams. They showed up in an NBA arena, and those seats. You watch the game on TV? I mean, I have Travis in my ear and then the TV show on because I have to see it too. And that thing was empty. New Orleans is a weird basketball town. I always thought it was weird. Remember a few years back when it's like the last road trip of the year and the Pelicans needed a couple wins and they're about to make the playoffs and the stadium was still half full. It's like you got a playoff team here and you can't sell tickets? That is a football town though, Brenden. That is football town. I mean, you know what a town's favorite sport is when you walk into it. Like you can tell. It's pretty sick. I'm craving football. Cafe du Monde is fire, Timmy says. Cafe du Monde is a tourist spot. Some people say it's overrated. My stomach said it was not. It was great. It was great. New Orleans, something great about New Orleans. You ever been there, Brenden?
I have not had the pleasure, no.
Okay, let me tell you what. Something great about New Orleans is the fact that you could go to what all the locals say is like, oh, yeah, that's the worst food spot in town. And the worst food spot in town in New Orleans still serves up some pretty good food.
Well, again, I don't want to judge because, hey, each to their own. But I put two and two together, Chris, why the Pelicans said, hey, Zion, we need you to get in shape. We're sending you to Portland from New Orleans. Like, remember that whole thing?
Yes.
Like, yeah, this is the place to go if you want to get some of those options. I get what you mean.
Red fish on bourbon. That's where I had alligator gumbo for the first time. That was delicious. What, Vente Marte? Way down. You gotta go way down bourbon. And you're no longer on bourbon. You're in the neighborhoods, and there's this little tiny like food mart, and you have to go all the way back into the back of it. It's cash only. It's the best po' boys in town. It's so good. It's so good. I asked the local, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the spot. That's the spot." Eric Weldon says the players love New Orleans. Yeah, they should. They should love New Orleans. It's good food and it doesn't sleep. Like and the hotels are all right there, so you're right there on Bourbon. If you haven't been there, you go down Canal and you got a Harrah's, so you got a casino. You go get a little bit of gambling in.
Yep. I'm all about that.
That Cafe du Monde at like midnight's pretty awesome. That's New Orleans is a good spot. I miss going there because that is it's a fun food city.
Yeah, let's check it out at some point.
Let's do that. When either Oregon or Oregon State plays in the national championship, which every other year will probably be in the Superdome there, what is now Caesars, because it's like every championship has to be played in New Orleans because again, it's football town.
Yes, very
football
true.
Town. Sit right there on the banks of the Mississippi. You feel special. It's a cool town, man. Yeah, it was one of my favorites. I ranked my NBA travels based on food.
Oh yeah,
food was good there. The deep dish pizza in Chicago.
Yeah,
that hits. The New York style pizza also hits. The barbecue in Memphis, as well as Gus's famous fried chicken, also hits. I'm hungry now, and I apologize. We're going to take a quick break here, though, on the fifth quarter. If you're on the phone line, I see Sean and Sandy. Stay there, Sean. I will grab you as soon as we get back. And anyone else, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Get on YouTube, too. Go to youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. Join my homies. Timmy Hammock and Air Weldon and Sean, who are holding it down on the chat. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Chris Burkhardt here. This is the fifth quarter presented by Coors Light. We continue after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
It's time for the fifth quarter drive of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Hawkins lost a handle on it. Alvarado has to dive on it, but Avdia steals it, floats it ahead to Kamara. The drive lays it in for 2. The fans here don't like it one bit as Denny Avdia comes up with the extra effort play.
It's time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Fripp City Radio.
Inbound to Sharp. Races across the timeline to 2, 3 at the horn. Buries it, and that's how the first half will come to a close. 21 in the half for Shaedon Sharp.
Whew. What a first half that was. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you, and Timmy was cracking me up. He likes the deep fried catfish, the gumbo. King cake is good too. I tell you, even the bad food in New Orleans is good. He said food in New Orleans makes Fire on the Mountain taste like McDonald's. That's something else. Fire on the Mountain's money. But as I commented in the YouTube comments there, I said Fire on the Mountain in Denver is better than Fire on the Mountain in Portland. And people always go, why? They're the same restaurant. And I go, because in Denver it was a business trip and the company card paid for it. Food tastes better when my credit card isn't paying for it.
Food always tastes better when someone else is paying for it.
Big facts. Yeah, big facts. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. I want some gumbo right now though, because you guys have no idea if you haven't.
Yeah, I take a beignet right now. I'm in a sweets kind of mood.
The beignets they hit.
See, I know I'm ready to be a foodie down there, man.
Cafe du Monde. It does hit. It absolutely hits. God, I'm so hungry now. Yeah, it's all better than those hockey puck hamburgers they used to serve at Oregon State football games.
If you know, you know.
Dude, those could break a tooth. You would have thrown them out the window. It could have shattered the window.
And they weren't always cooked either.
No, they're like, how do you have a solid burger that's pink in the middle?
Yeah, it's tough. That's just questions that we just don't know.
Okay, I'll take the Dutch Bros coffee and a cookie though. Those were good. All right, if you want to join the conversation, like I said, YouTube.com is one way to do it. And the phone, 503-248-0620, where we head out to Sandy, where Sean has been waiting patiently. Thanks for waiting, Sean. Welcome into the fifth quarter.
26 points. Get him extra help as a gumbo. Denny Avdia, show me your blazer.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. That was a good game, wasn't it, Sean?
Oh, man. Is it just me, or does Denny got a little bit of that Mono Ginobili game in him?
Bro, I have been saying that for a while now. That's what he reminds me of, especially when he's coming off the bench. Like, I don't know how they build this roster. I love him in the starting lineup, too. But if you build this roster right and you just want to lock him in as the sixth man, like, he reminds me a little bit of Manu for sure.
Well, you can see just the way he plays with his passion and his basketball IQ. That's what I look for. I like guys that got hustle in them, but you can tell guys that, kind of know the game and know angles and geometry a little bit, right?
No, absolutely. And that's what I've liked about him in the preseason and early in the season. And even the games where he has the bad turnover nights, like, he's always looking to make a play. And like a knock on Scoot that I had early in the season, and he's getting better with it, is like his hesitation, right? Where he kind of stops and he's like, should I shoot this or should I pass it? And then he passed it and it's a turnover. Like with Denny, it's all green light on the pass or the shot. There's no questioning it. Like if he's going to pass, he has made that determination and he's doing it. There's no questioning it. And that's a little bit of confidence that I think a lot of players in the NBA could have. And when you start to, really get the mind there with the way he plays, the upside with this guy, it's really good.
You got to play with conviction, brother.
Oh, yeah.
And shoot that shot like you're a stone cold killer.
Oh, no, absolutely. And he does. You got to walk into the gym and think you're the best player, right? And I hate when people get mad at that. Like if a football team's like, oh, yeah, we can beat anybody. And they're like, oh, no, you can't. You're the worst team in the league. Well, here's the thing. If you walk into a gym and you don't think you can beat the other team, you lost already. Well, so like you said, you got to play with that confidence and that conviction. And Denny brings that, man. I love the way he plays.
I'm a strong believer you got to have self-awareness, but you got to have a little bit of drama to you and kind of like, poker's a game of bluff.
Right.
Have a great night, you guys. A great win.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Thanks for the call as always, man.
I love Sean's
really
calls,
appreciate
man.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I sincerely appreciate Sean's analysis, man.
He's good. He's good. I think last year he'd call in and he'd be a little more pessimistic. He'd get a little irritated. But now that they've hit a little bit of that rebuild
progress.
and you actually have an idea of what things are doing, he's liking it, and I love it, dude. I love when they call. I like when you call in happy that they won, not something. Oh man, they ruined the tank by winning. Who cares? Good basketball. They're gonna lose plenty of games. But he's spot on, man. Denny Avdia and Tumani Kamara have been my two favorite Blazers this year. And for vastly different reasons. I love Denny's playmaking. I love the way it kind of almost like, I know this sounds weird because I'm not comparing the two styles in any way, shape, or form. But you know how Dame kind of played with that little bit of a chip on his shoulder? Denny kind of plays with that fake chip on his shoulder too. Like it's like he's out there proving you guys, like I'm good. I am a good basketball player, and I love that. And then Tumani Kamara, man, I have said this on the show many a time. I know Brendan's heard it, but he is by far, he is the most fun I've had watching a Blazer play defense since Wesley Matthews was in town.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be
Just
really
think
good.
about that, folks.
Yeah, you got to be really good on the defensive end to make watching you play defense fun. He makes it fun. And the fact that the offense is catching up and he's getting a little confidence on that end, oh boy, that's a thing of beauty, Brenden. Heading back to the YouTube chat for a second. Air Weldon says throwback. Show me your Blazer. In honor of the great Chad Doing, show me your Blazer. I don't do it as good as him, but I can still do it. And typically walking into the gym thinking you're the best player is default mode for these players, which is why they're there. It is. And it's so funny, Air Weldon, that like, how many times though do you hear if a guy says that he's the best player here, or like people laugh at it? It's like, no, you have to have that confidence. Because if you don't, like I said, you walk in and go, oh yeah, we're not the best team in this gym and I'm not the best player in this gym, you're toasted. You've already lost the mental battle, and that's a big part of the battle, man. You have to be like that. So I do like that. And it's like he's talking about the chip on the shoulder, like a manufactured disrespect, very, very wrestler-like. Yeah, dude, I love that this show always finds ways to tie wrestling in. I talked wrestling a lot with the Godfather when I'd fill in for Chad until his buddies who listened to the show said, hey, can you guys stop talking wrestling? It's boring. And I'm like, oh, come on. It's fun. It's fun. And before you poo-poo wrestling, why don't you go look at Instagram and Twitter and see all their followings? Because pretty sure WWE's social media following dwarfs that of pretty much every professional sports team, okay? I even beat the NFL. It's worldwide, baby. Gotta love wrestling. Can never take me out of the Attitude Era. Every day is a Monday Night War in my head. Gosh, fun times. Air Weldon talking about being the best player in the league. It says Brian Scalabrine is closer to LeBron than he is to us. And the funny part about that is such a true statement. Like, he is. He is so much closer to LeBron than we are, the worst player in the league. That's why, Air Weldon, that's where, like, when you get average Joe, oh, I'm pretty sure if I were in the NBA, I could probably hit a couple threes a night and score 6 points. No, you could not. We are talking about the top 1% basketball players in the world. The bad ones are only bad relative to the NBA players, but they are still infinitely better than just about anybody you know. You could take the worst players on any team, and they'll go into any 24-hour fitness in this country and put a whooping on them.
I mean, just to like use and I apologize to the family that can be catching strays, but for instance, Chris, like just thinking of like a Blazer who didn't have like the bet, like how many people could like CJ Ellaby cook in an open gym? I would be willing to bet probably still like 85, 90%, if not more.
Bro.
You know, so there's just a difference. Like you can be not NBA great, but be better than 96% of the basketball playing population.
Yeah, it's wild. Air Weldon, it's like dudes who think they could ever fight Ronda Rousey at her peak.
Oh, yeah, like get out of here.
Ronda Rousey would have had my rear end in an armbar so quick. Like, pretty sure Holly Holm could knock me out. Like, come on. Like, be real. Oh, I'm pretty sure I could have took BJ Penn in his. No, you couldn't have. What's Mike Tyson's quote? Like, some people just need to get punched in the face. It's Ronnie Coleman's what I'm thinking. He's a bodybuilder. He said everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift no heavy ass weight. saying everybody wants the body and everyone wants to do it, but nobody wants to put in the work. Same thing, like everybody wants to be a boxer, but ain't nobody want to get punched in the chin. Like we had this podcast, Just Two Fans. Shout out to my good friends Eli and Jamie who host that bad boy. My buddy Eli, he was a high school lineman, and he tried to convince himself that he's pretty sure that if he lined up against Aaron Darnold, he could stop him 1 out of 10 times if he had 10 chances. And we all laughed. He brought this up to Jordan Scott, who used to play for the Ducks, right? When they had him on as a guest and he was playing in the NFL his first year, and he laughed. He's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say in my life. Like, Aaron Darnold at 50% would cook you. I've told the story here on the fifth quarter before about Aaron Brooks running in and playing games with him at the University of Oregon before he got drafted. That guy legit was going at about 10% of his maximum, and he made me look like a baby fresh out the womb. Like, by the end of the game, I was questioning if I knew how to walk properly. Like, I was so discombobulated, okay? And this was before that guy was even in the league. The best, like, the worst guys in the league, they'll torch you. They'll torch you. It's like when Myers Leonard was here, and I used to talk about him being an awful basketball player. I'd always say, he's an awful basketball player. Relative to NBA players, that 7-footer with that shot, nobody's stopping him anywhere else. Like, Greg Brown, pretty damn good basketball player. He's not a good NBA player. It's funny that people think that. Also, I want to know, like, people who really think they could beat Rousey. Like, Rousey she was a baller, dude. She knew how to fight. Throw you a little hip toss, arm bar, game over. Ay. People be crazy in these streets, Brenden. People be crazy. Would you rather be blindsided, sacked by Aaron Donald, or locked in an octagon with John? Oh my gosh, I'd rather be blindside sacked. The whiplash is gonna suck, but at least it's over and done. John Bones Jones would play with your food, dude.
Now I'm okay. Aaron Donald maybe lost like half a speed in retirement.
Yeah, I'm taking blindsided by Aaron Darnold every day of the week, twice on
Without
Sunday.
question.
Like, you want to get sacked by a football player, or do you want to get punched in the face by the best heavyweight on the planet? Oh yeah. Oh, and just when and then kicked. Those guys kick so hard that they've broken legs with a kick. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm taking the blindside block. I don't care if I can't turn my neck for the next month and a half. Come on now. But back in this idea, though, real quick, before we go to break, about, the manufactured disrespect or playing with that chip on the shoulder, thinking you're the best. That's also why and because things go viral now and people just like to dunk on people, pun intended. Like, I hate when someone's like, oh, so-and-so got posterized. Dude, I will take my favorite player on the team getting posterized any day of the week rather than making a business decision and getting out of the way and the other team scoring easy points. Like, when people dogged Yusuf Nurkic because he got postered by LeBron James a couple years back. Oh, man, he just got destroyed. Yeah, you know what he didn't do? He didn't get out of the way. He went up and tried to go for a block shot. That's what a good player should do. I will take my favorite player or my team getting postered because at least they're trying to make a stop. Too many NBA players make business decisions nowadays. I don't like that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups had to say. I'm going to hand out a game ball. And then, as my wife wants me to do and likes me to say, we're going to put a bow on this bad boy, get out of here. Got to get some rest because we got a back-to-back. Blazers back at it tomorrow with a 5:30 tip-off against the Dallas Mavericks. This is the fifth quarter presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
For the latest on tonight's game, we head to the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the offense in the first half stands out. But to me, it was the defense that got us going. It really was. Our defense, we talked better than we've talked all season defensively in terms of just being ready, being focused, knowing who we were guarding. And I thought it was great. We shared the ball in a major way, in the first half. And we shot the heck out of it, obviously. So you have a half like that, everything is really going well, and then you have to fend off a letdown in the second half naturally. So that's always very tough, but I thought we did. I thought we came out, in the third quarter, and we were okay. My whole focus was let's just win the quarter, And as much as you try to talk your team into let's just act like it's 0-0, I mean, natural. It's normal. But I thought we hung in there and did a good job and continued to just play the right way throughout the course of the game.
Shaden in the first half especially, kind of what did you see from that offense? I mean, it seems like it's really a continuation of kind of what he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, Shea is playing great offensively. He's taking the right type of shots. I want him to be on the attack at all times. I want him to be even more aggressive in the second half. But obviously, you never know where the ball is. When the ball is just moving and nobody's thinking about shots or thinking about who's going to get the ball or no play, it just kind of happens, and sometimes it doesn't come back to you. But I thought Shea was excellent the entire night.
Kind of Rob's performance tonight, too. I mean, you talk about defense. He had a couple blocks in the first half.
Yeah.
And after not having played in the first couple games of this trip to come out, it seems like he had an impact on the game, even then the time he did get tonight.
Rob is just he's 16 minutes tonight. He's just a difference maker. He really is. I mean, his feel for the game, his instincts are high level. His IQ is high level. And he's moving so well. He's so healthy. I'm just so happy for him. But he helps you on both sides of the ball. He's such a great passer. Defensively, no shot is safe down there. I mean, he's blocking everything. He's blocking jump shots. He's blocking layups. He's catching lobs. I mean, Rob he's just incredible, man. I love coaching him. He's a real leader. He just plays the right way.
And last one, Tumani, you talked about, again, defense to offense. It seems like he was really disruptive on the defensive end tonight that led to runouts for both himself and for guys like Chris and as well.
Tumani is he's just proven to the world that he's one of the best defenders in our league already. He really is. You put him on any and everybody, point guards, shooting guards, centers, forwards. He has an impact. He really does. So I'm just proud of him. But he does. Two is doing what two does. He's just gonna be. He's an irritant out there. He's disruptive out there. He can be solid at times. He gets offensive rebounds. He just continues to get better, man. He continues to get better, and I'm loving it.
All right, there you hear Coach Billups. And it made me think of something here, too, this YouTube chat, by the way. I'm going to put a little link in here for you guys to watch later. But it's funny. Back to Air Weldon and Timmy talking about, who would you rather fight? And then, people who think they could stand with a pro athlete. I will never forget, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when world-class heavyweight boxer James Toney challenged world-class MMA fighter Randy Couture to a fight in the octagon. And Randy Couture during this fight back in 2010 was 47, I believe, 48 right there. And so he was old by fighting standards. And James Toney at the same time was a boxer with 81 matches under his belt at the time with a career record of 71-6-3. And they met in the octagon. And we're talking a guy with knockout power because James Toney ended his career 77 wins, 47 by knockout. Dude had power. He knew what to do. World-class fighter. Randy Couture, 10 seconds into that match, gets him with a single leg takedown, commences a ground and pound, puts him in an arm triangle. To at one point, he looks at the ref and he's like, he quit. He gave up. And Toney tries to wiggle out. Couture lets go of the hold, pounds him a couple more times, puts the arm triangle back in, submits him in the first round. We're talking a world-class heavyweight boxer. The dude knows how to fight. And you put him in the other guy's realm, Randy Couture destroyed him. A 47-year-old Randy Couture destroyed him. And you think average Joe off the couch could do it? Bro, I went and worked out today. I'm sore. Like I worked out on Saturday. I'm still sore from that workout. There ain't no way in hell I'm staying 5 minutes with these guys. So yeah, that's why I'm taking the blindside block over sitting in an octagon with Johnny Bones Jones. Y'all crazy. Crazy. But watch that fight. It's beautiful. And then they asked Couture if he'd ever get into a boxing ring and fight Tony in his realm. And he's like, no, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go to where he's the best. He'll destroy me. I'm an MMA fighter. Put gloves on me and put me in a ring where all I can do is punch. I'm knockout number 48. Like, let's be real. You got to know your limitations sometimes. All right, Brenden, we're almost out of here. But before we go, it's time to hand out. Rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block shot. 10 of 15 from the floor. Very efficient night for Denny, who just, yes, he's had some games here where like the turnovers are high and this and that, but more so than anything, he's been a very, very consistent for the Blazers putting together these type of games. And there's been far more games where it's 16, 17 points. So the outburst tonight, very, very good. Shot with confidence. And you can see why the Blazers gave up what they did to get him, because he's a dang good player. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Blazers go into one of the best food cities in the world. They grab a beignet, a bowl of gumbo, a po' boy, and a victory, 119-100 over the New Orleans Pelicans. And they get to get right back to it tomorrow in Dallas. Tip-off at 5:30. We'll have a special start time for that. Game day will be live at 3 o'clock, hour and a half show instead of the normal hour. So come hang with me and Brenden. Brenden, bring some talking points to the table. That extra half hour means, we can talk college football or NFL or something. We can have a little fun.
It is wild card weekend. We could dabble in the NFL.
It is. Hey, Chad's not here, but in honor of Chad, we might have to talk about the Denver Broncos. Who knows? But we'll be here 3 o'clock, Chris and Brenden. Be ready for it. To everyone in the chat, we'll see you there. You guys are awesome. Timmy Hammock, 2 more sleeps till SmackDown. As the only tribal chief of Rip City Radio, this is Chris Burkhardt signing off tonight. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620.